Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So CraftDee. For today's DIY projects, we'll be transforming some Dollar Tree items into some really sweet year-round decor for your home. Now to get you all started, I've included the full supply list in the description box for you. Now to all of my amazing subscribers and visitors, I wanted to say hey, and if you're not a subby yet, what are you waiting for? You'll definitely want to subscribe to see hundreds of fresh and original craft ideas on my channel. So let's just go ahead and get started. Now this project are some buffalo check decor boxes. Now we're going to need 2 of these hard-sided boxes from the Dollar Tree in different sizes. We're also going to need some buffalo check vinyl from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to need some faux leather from the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to start off with the boxes today. So start off by just removing the lids. We're going to set those to the side for now. And we are going to go ahead and work on the boxes. Now we will be covering these, but I wanted to go ahead and put a thin, rough coat of paint on these just to kind of disguise the pattern, because sometimes that will show through your vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and protect my work surface, and I'm going to grab some black acrylic paint. Now I'm going to apply this all around the outside and that inner lip of the box, and I'm doing just one really rough coat. It doesn't have to be pretty. We're just kind of disguising that pattern on the box so it does not show through our final vinyl application. Now we're going to do this all the way around both of the boxes. So now let's go ahead and grab those lids. Now we are going to be doing a very nice coat of the black on these lids because these will be displayed in our project. Now once we get that first coat on all of our lids, we do want to wait till it dries and follow up with a second coat. Now here are all of our pieces are dried, and now here are our lids. So go ahead and set our final lids to the side and grab that buffalo check vinyl. Now I love using the vinyl as contact paper in my projects, and it's so much fun. So I'm going to grab the largest box and kind of wrap it around to see how long of a piece I'm going to need, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off the roll. So once we have a piece long enough, I'm reverse rolling it just to kind of relieve some of that curling in the vinyl. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold it long ways in half and then cut that entire piece in half, so I'll have 2 long strips. Now I'm starting off with the smaller box, and it's a little wide for that, so I'm cutting off just a little bit of the vinyl and then removing the backing and then place it on my table sticky side up. Go ahead and sit your box in the very center of that vinyl and then start wrapping it around each side. Now when you do apply this, you just want to apply it very evenly and then apply a little pressure, smoothing out any wrinkles or bubbles that you may get. Now even though this is permanent vinyl, it does have some forgiveness where you can lift it back up and replace it. Just be very careful when applying it. So once it's all wrapped around and you've worked all those little pieces out, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to snip each one of the corners as shown here. Now what this does is allow you to fold in that vinyl to the bottom of the box for a nice, neat bottom edge of your box as shown here. Now we will be covering up the bottom, but go ahead and snip around the top edge too and fold that in, and look how clean and crisp that is around the top. So now we're going to take our other half of our vinyl and our larger box, and we're going to repeat this entire process and cover this one as well. And here are both of our boxes all nice and covered. Now I love to finish the bottoms of my boxes, so what I like to use is this black foam. I get this in large rolls from Joann when they have a coupon. And so what I'm going to do is I am just going to place the bottom of the box on the foam, and I'm going to adhere it with some hot glue. So just run a bead along the bottom of your box and make sure there's a generous amount so it sticks to the foam. And then you want to just place it carefully on top of the foam and give it just a little bit of pressure so it's bonded. Now once that one's bonded, repeat it for the other one, let it sit for a few minutes, and now our boxes are bonded to the foam. Now we can cut it out, so go ahead and grab your cutting mat and utility blade and then just trim off all of that excess foam on the bottom of your boxes, and what you'll end up having is a nice clean finish to the bottom as shown here. I just love how good that this looks when it's all nice and finished. So now just go ahead and grab your faux leather. Now what I'm going to do with this is add some tags to my box. So I'm going to cut a strip about 1.5 inches wide for my box, but you could choose any length or size that you like. So I cut a strip long enough where I can make 2 labels for the front of my box. Now I am going to grab those lids and place them on top of the box just so I could get the label placement perfect and center. So I'm going to sit that faux leather strip on top of the box, and I'm just kind of gauging how wide I want my label to be, just marking it with a pencil, and I'm going to do this for both of the boxes. And then carefully cut it out with a pair of scissors. And so now we have 2 labels, and I'm kind of doing a test fit here just to make sure everything fits okay, and you could do any additional trimming if you like. Now you can add these on just like this, but what I decided to do is take my acrylic paint pen that I got from Amazon, and I wanted to create some stitching around my little leather pieces. Now I tried a test piece first, of course, just to make sure it would look okay. And then once that passed, I went ahead and did ticking marks around both of my little square labels that I'm going to be placing on my boxes, and then let that sit to dry. I'm just kind of blowing on them and fanning them. It dries pretty quickly. Now once that is dry, we can go ahead and place one of those on each one of those boxes. Now I'm going to be adhering these to the box, and I'm going to be using my hot glue, and what I like to do is adhere half of the label at a time. This allows me to kind of work with it just a little bit and do some minor adjusting if I need to, and then you can go ahead and add adhesive to the other side once that first side is in place. And we're just going to repeat this for our second box. Now what I also decided to do is take some of these gold thumbtacks that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to press one into each one of the corners of the box. Now once one is in the corner of the labels, you notice that the ends of it sticks through the box. So I like to take my little wire clippers, and I am going to clip off those sharp ends on the inside just in case you reach in, you don't want to get injured or cut. So I'm clipping off those long nails, and then I'm going to follow up by covering these up with a dollop of hot glue, and it kind of hides that little sharp piece. Now you could have cut these off in the beginning, but poking them through just seemed more easy for me, so I went ahead and just left them on and clipped them off later. Now once you add your hot glue to the cut ends on the inside and let that dry, that secures that little thumbtack in place, and you have this really beautiful accent on the outside of your box. Now here are both of our boxes all complete, and I think that they turned out great. So here they are. Check it out. How adorable are these boxes? Now I am such a huge fan of buffalo check, and I'm glad that I decided to use it in this project. Now I do love the pairing of the faux leather and the tacks too. It's such a great combination. Now you could use these as storage boxes, but they're great for other decor as well. Now you could just place some holiday greenery inside for a really festive display. Now I just used some holly stems from the Dollar Tree. I folded up the ends and then I added them to the box. Such a simple holiday decor idea. Now of course when the holidays are over, you can add any greenery of your choice to decorate your space, and I use these faux plants from IKEA. Now these just make the perfect accent to these boxes. Now you all have to let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. Now this project is a set of wood riser trays. We're going to need 2 of these wood trays from the Dollar Tree. We're going to need a package of these snowmen from the Dollar Tree. Okay, we're going to start off with the trays today, and what we're going to do is we are going to cover up those holes. So I'm using 2 of these large craft sticks that I already had on hand, and I'm going to just cut one in half and then cut off those rounded ends as well. And this is the perfect length to cover up the holes in the side of the tray. I think covering them up just looks so much better. So what I like to do is to cover them up, and I add just a dot of hot glue on each side of the hole and press one of those sticks in place. And as you can see, it's all covered up. Now just repeat this for your other box, and now you have 2 boxes that are nice and covered. Now go ahead and make sure you remove all of the stickers from the boxes because we will be painting these. Now I'm choosing to use some white acrylic paint. Of course you could use chalk paint, or you can even stain these if you like. So I'm starting off by painting the inside of the boxes. I find that painting the inside first just works better when handling, and when the inside is all done, you can go ahead and do the entire outside, and then just do this for your second box and let these dry. Now while these are drying, go ahead and grab those little snowmen. Now they come 8 to a pack, so there'll be 4 that you'll need for each one of the trays. Now I decided to go with black for my little snowman. I'm going to paint them in black acrylic. So, and these are so easy to paint. I just hold them between 2 fingers and then paint the entire snowman. You really don't need to paint the very bottom of the snowman. You just need to paint the entire body and then the top of the hat once the entire body is nice and painted. Now you only need 1 really good coat, but you can definitely do 2 if you like. So I'm touching up the top of the snowman where I was holding it, and then you just sit this up and stand it up and paint all the rest of your snowman, and here they all are, all nice and painted. Now you just let everything sit to completely dry. So our trays are dry now, and our snowmen are nice and dry. Now what we're going to do is apply these to the bottoms of the tray. So the part that we're going to apply is the bottom of the snowman, and you could use wood glue or wood hot glue. I'll be using wood hot glue for my project today because it works, because I'm using lightweight items for my tray. So I'm going to apply some of that glue to the bottom of my snowman and then press it into the bottom of the tray in the corner. These adhere really quickly, and I love how these look once you add them. Just add 1 to each corner, and check it out, you guys. When you flip this tray over, they look like stylish little spun legs. I love how this looks. And so now all you have to do is repeat this for your second tray. And now you have a beautiful set of riser trays with a fancy little legs. I love it. Now you can add some distressing or anything you wanted that you wanted to accent this with, but I decided to add some of this little gingham ribbon to tie into a black and white theme. So I'm going to grab a piece and cut it the length around the body of the tray. Now I cut it long so the ribbon would adhere on top of the other end and not adhere to the tray, because I did want this to be removable just in case I decided to change up my decor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere 1 piece of the ribbon on top of the other end, making sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't slip out of place. And here's our ribbon going right down the center of our tray for a little accent. And I'm going to add this to the other tray as well. And now check it out. Both trays are done. And now is the fun part. You have to decorate them. So many ideas. Now here are my little trays all decorated, and I love how these turned out. Now for this display, I've added some LED candles and some holiday greenery to my trays for the decoration. And I love that these are made in a pair too, so you can coordinate them in so many ways. Now I do think the feet are the real start of the show, so repurposing those snowmen was a great idea. Now of course there are other ways to decorate these as well. Now for year-round decor, you can add trinkets or greenery of your choice. Now, I personally love these inexpensive greenery balls from IKEA for this decor piece. Now, I really do hope you give this easy project a try. Now, this project is an interchangeable home sign. We're going to need one of these crystal ball Halloween signs from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to need one of these black metal home signs from the Dollar Tree. We're going to start off with our sign. Go ahead and remove the tags, and we're going to flip it over and remove that ribbon. Now, it is attached with staples, but I noticed you really didn't even need the wire clippers. These pulled right out of the back with no problem. Now, don't throw away that ribbon. We will be repurposing that later. Now, the tacks and the staples did leave a little holes in the back, so I'm first going to go ahead and sand that down so I can get everything nice and smooth. And then I'm following up with some of this little Dollar Tree spackle, just kind of spackling over those little staple holes that were left in the back of my sign, and I didn't really need much at all. Now, once it's about dry, I'm going to go ahead and sand it down, and I like some of the dust to get into that spackle to kind of smooth everything out, and then I'm just going to let everything get nice and dry. Now, once it's dry, it is time to paint and customize. Now, for the main part of the sign, I decided to use white chalk paint. It's nice and thick, and I only need one coat, so I'm going to cover the entire sign. And here it is, painted, and don't forget those edges. Now, for the little hanging tag at the bottom, I decided to use black acrylic paint. Again, just apply just one nice coat. That should give you plenty of coverage. And here is that hanging tag that goes at the bottom. Now, I wanted some wording, so I'm using this collection of fall words that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they have so many different words in here, and the one that I chose said welcome fall. Now, I did want to have a welcome on my sign, so I'm just going to go ahead and change this and just snip off the word fall with some wire clippers. It comes off really easily. You just want to make sure you take your time so you don't break the welcome side. And here it is. You have a nice little welcome sign to go on your tag. Now, I am going to paint the welcome sign as well. I'm just using just a little bit of acrylic paint, and I'm just going to dab my paintbrush on that just to highlight those letters a little better. Now, here it is all painted. Now, let everything completely dry. So now that all my pieces are dry, I'm going to start customizing my little tag. I am going to take my white paint pen, my acrylic pen, and I'm going to put ticking marks across the top and the bottom of my ribbon piece to look like ribbon. And I'm also going to do the dovetails as well. Now, once that paint pen ink dries, I'm going to take my welcome sign. I'm going to apply some hot glue on the back of it, and I want to center it right in the middle of my ribbon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the main sign. Now, I wanted to put a border on it, and I thought I was going to go ahead and freehand it first, but I said, let me grab a ruler. I want this to look neat. So what I'm going to do is make a border around the entire sign with a pencil, about 1/4 inch on the sides and the bottom, and then I kind of freehanded the top portion. Now, I'm going to use my outline as a guide to go in with my Sharpie and to paint to actually draw a border around my sign, and this is how it turned out. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab that black home sign. I'm going to clip off the jute twine, and I noticed that there is a plastic layer on the front and the back of these metal pieces to protect them. So go ahead and remove it on both sides, and now you're left with this really beautiful shiny piece. So I'm going to be centering this metal sign towards the bottom of my sign because I'm going to be adding something to the top. So I'm just going to go ahead, add a few dots of hot glue to the back and press that into place. So So now that that's done, flip both pieces over, and now we're going to string them all together. So go ahead and grab that ribbon that you removed at the beginning, and I'm going to just go ahead and cut pieces to put my pieces together. Now you can use the continuous strand as you wanted to, but I was just doing single pieces, cutting them down, just making sure that they were nice and evenly placed apart. So I'm just going to add some hot glue to each one of my pieces, starting attaching it to the main body piece at the top first, and then adding that sign. Now you definitely can use your ruler to make sure spacing is right. In fact, that would be a great idea because you do want to make sure that your welcome ribbon piece is hanging evenly from the top piece. Now once that piece is connected, we can go ahead and just add our hang loop to the top, and I'm just cutting a strand of this ribbon at the top and looping it around, and then just go ahead and hot glue it on each side. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cover the back. I love covering the back of my projects. It just makes it look more professional. So I have a piece of some craft paper here, and we're going to start the adhesion on the top portion of the sign. So I'm adding some glue around the perimeter of that top sign, pressing that down on the craft paper, and then flipping up that welcome portion and then adding glue on that and pressing that in place as well. Now once that's nice and dry, what we're going to do is we are going to cut that out, and I'm just using a utility blade. Being careful, don't cut through that ribbon, just work around it. It should be easy to cut through once it's done. So now that that's done, I'm going to take my drill, and I just have a drill bit in here big enough to put a zip tie through. I am going to just drill a hole at the top center, about 1.5 inches down from the top, and this will work when we start to interchange our greenery and decor to go with all of our seasons. Now, in order to do this, we're just going to need zip ties, and we get these from the Dollar Tree. Now, these 8-inch zip ties come in a 60 pack, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to insert it through the back, then loop it right through until you have a loop at the front. Now, don't secure the back yet, not until you add your greenery of choice. I'm just going to take some of these holly bushes that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I'm bending in the stems, and I'm going to stick one through the loop first and then one through the opposite side, and then just rearrange that greenery in a way that looks good to you. Now once it does look okay, flip it over to the back, and then you can go ahead and zip tie and tighten those pieces together, and this is what it will look like. And here is the sign with the holly bundle, and I think that this looks super cute. Now I really love the shape of this sign, and it was the perfect template for this project. Now you can add this metal plate, or you can add custom wording if you like. Now this definitely was a great interchangeable project. You just clip that zip tie and add a new bundle to the header, and here is one that I used. Now I used some beautiful Dollar Tree floral and pine picks, and I think that this turned out so gorgeous. And then after the holiday is over, you just snip and swap with some sweet boxwood for a year-round look. Now you guys, all of these projects today were so fun, and I hope that I've inspired you to get creative, and I really love each of these, but let me know in the comments which one of these was your favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. Now, don't forget to make sure that you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click my She's So Crafty logo on your screen, and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. It doesn't cost a thing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.